We want to let you know that regardless of how you look like, which abilities you currently have, how old you are, how much money do you own, which faith you profess, what language do you speak, whether you're documented or not, you matter and you're important and you count. You are here and you can make a difference to make your community better by being counted on the 2020 census. So as a quick heads up, we're recording this video, so if anybody wouldn't like to have their face being shown, feel free to click on the stop video icon in the second part of the lower left side of the screen. Otherwise, we love to see your beautiful faces. So thank you for spending this hour with us. Stay tuned to our Zoom because our chat moderator, Elisa, is going to be giving out grocery store gift cards throughout the event. In order to be able to participate, you need to be paying attention to the chat and you need to stay on the call the whole way. If you have taken the census, please share this Facebook Live, YouTube Live with your friends and family that may need to hear this information. If you haven't, you're here for a treat. We have a panel of speakers that will clarify to you why taking the census is extremely important, why it means that you will have access to power and money for the next 10 years. We want to shine a light on the youth of our communities and the power that we have and they have on getting their household counted. Our trusted community organizers and census assistants are here to provide you with language-based census support over chat or over the phone. You may be able to see their names and their phone numbers. Please do give them a call if you need to talk to them. Even if you're watching this video after the fact, most of the centers will still be supporting the census up to the end of July. For English support, you may reach out to Jeffrey from Black Parent Initiative. For Spanish support, you may reach out to Natalie from Hacienda or Elizabeth from Division Midway Alliance. For Russian support, you may talk to Timur from Slavic Family. And you're gonna be hearing lots of music from around the world, but we're gonna also have some music from local DJ Kif. Great. In order to start off, I would love to introduce our first panel speaker, Perla Alvarez. She's Weekend Oregon's field director, born in Mexico, now lives in Portland, is someone that's been involved in civic engagement as a young age, has advanced racial justice, leading voter registration, securing millions of dollars for higher education. We're gonna be hearing from Perla really soon after some music. Stay tuned.
We're gonna get a good sound. Как откроешь эти двери, не воротишься назад. Был бы ты быстрее зверем, убежал бы наугад. Может в море, может в поле, только чтобы быть на воле, только чтобы не обратно в засад. Там мне никогда не бывает грустно. Там мне никогда не бывает пусто. Там мне никогда не стучатся в кровь холода. И моя река никогда не меняет русло. Я теперь твоя хозяйка, я удача госпожа. Для таких, как ты, незнайка, что не знают, не дрожа. Может в море, может в поле, только чтобы быть на воле, даже если на лезвии ножа. Там мне никогда не бывает грустно. Там мне никогда не бывает пусто. Там мне никогда не стучатся в кровь холода. И моя река никогда не меняет русла. Там мне никогда не бывает грустно. Там мне никогда не бывает пусто. Там мне никогда не стучатся в кровь холода. И моя река никогда не меняет русла.
Thank you, Andre.
My name is Perla Alvarez, and I am the field director at We Count Oregon. The campaign really started in 2019 when groups earlier in the year got together, and these are the groups who are in the front lines working with the hard to count communities. They put a proposal together that would be specific to our communities. I want to give a shout out to those organizations who are East County Rising, Oregon Futures Lab, Causa, Pecun, Latino Network, Forward Together, NEA Family Center, Raíces, Community Alliance of Tenants, Apano, PALF, and Unite Oregon. All these organizations came together and chose Dancing Hearts Consulting as the driver of the campaign, because as a consulting firm, it is a firm that is led by women of color and by our fierce leader, Esperanza, who is a Black woman and who has a tracked historical record of winning campaigns. And so they chose Dancing Hearts as the driver because they knew that we would be able to come up with a campaign that would be holistic to the needs of the community. The goal of the campaign is to educate and encourage hard-to-count communities to fill out the census by creating communications and trainings that would be specific to the community. And this means that we created flyers, content, events that are multilingual and accessible to the community. We also had to pivot because of COVID-19, right? So we are able to accommodate our events to go virtual and also stream it in different platforms like Facebook, just like what we're doing right now, so that we are able to reach all of our communities. We know that like Facebook is one of the platforms that is highly used by our immigrant communities, and so we wanted to be able to be responsive to that. Just as a reminder, the hard to count communities are people of color who are 25% of the Oregon population, immigrants who make up 10% of the Oregon population, children under 5, which are 6% of Oregon population, renters, and Native communities. It is not that our communities are necessarily hard to count. It is that our communities need the information in a way that they can digest, and they need trusted messengers, right? That can tell our communities that they need to fill out the census and that their information is safe. We do have laws that protect information, and they will not be shared with any other governmental entities, right? The census information is only used to produce statistics that are going to help our communities, right? They use census information to determine where public transportation is going to go. And, school funding, all of the resources that we need in the day-to-day. I wanted to also let you know that the deadline to fill out the census is October 31st. Right? So you still have a lot of time to fill it out. Oregon, I think, stands right now at like 64.4% of completion rate, which means we still have a long way to go. And the enumerator efforts, which means that people are gonna start going from home to home, are gonna start in August 11th. So make sure you fill out the census before then. If you don't want to, receive a knock in the door. So the enumerators will also follow all the protocols to be able to be safe whenever they are doing the census at your household. So this is the information I wanted to share with you all. Thank you so much for having me here. At We Count, we are really excited to be collaborating with the Census Assistance Centers and fill out your census.
Thank you, Perla, for that great information.
Hey, hello, everyone. Buenas tardes. Boa tarde. Well, these are the language that I know. I just hope that everyone can be there and connect with us. I'm so happy that we are here today and that we have Representative Alissa Kenigaya, who is one of our biggest champions in health equity and everything about equity in the state of Oregon. We have been working together, I think, since 2010. I'm trying to remember, so many years we have been working with the Oregon Health Equity Alliance and so many topics such as cultural competence of healthcare providers, and with the doulas bills, when we got finally doulas to be who are professionals trained and supported to be there with the pregnant mothers. And Alissa Kenigaya has a unique story that she can tell herself. So please, Alissa, introduce yourself as much as you feel comfortable. Thank you. Again, gracias. Muchísimas gracias.
Thank you, Sandra. Really great to be here. I think I might be the oldest. I just took off my glasses because of the glare, so I can't see if anyone surpassed me, but it's great to be in a position of passing the torch to younger generations, which I have so much admiration for. I want to thank the people who put this together. Dancing Hearts, who I just became aware of through Karina Miller's campaign. Saw Esperanza on a chat, Zoom chat. So great to meet Perla also. The music and Andrew Tolman dancing. I love that. So just want to say, I'm not sure what unique story Sandra was talking about, but I have been tried to really open my heart and mind to lived experiences very different than mine throughout my career. And one of the things when I got into the legislature 9.5 years ago that was really glaringly obvious was how few young people, how few women, and how few people of color were in the legislature making decisions. I was on the healthcare committee, and I was the only woman of, I think, 9 or 11 members for the first 3 years I was there. Now it's majority women, and a woman, Latina, actually chairs that committee. When I came into the legislature, there were only 2 people of color out of 90 in the legislature. One African-American in the House, Lou Frederick, one African-American in the Senate, who is a Republican, who voted well on a lot of very specific racial equity issues, but not well on social justice issues or determinants of health. That was Jackie Winters. We've gone from 2 people of color to 9, so that's 10% of the 90-member legislature. So that's a good, it's good progress. We have a long way to go. And I'm really delighted to say that as I about passing the torch, I'm stepping aside from the legislature and passing the torch to Pham. Some of you may know, who used to work with Apano and now is with Opal. And we have no API people in the legislature at all, and very few API staff members working in the Capitol at all. So that's a really glaring example of lack of representation. Incredibly excited to be passing the torch to her, and I know she's taking it and running with it, and we've been meeting. It's also been really important to me, particularly because of the lack of representation in the Capitol among both legislators and their staff for BIPOC communities, that I've always had a very strong team that has been made up of almost entirely BIPOC or LGBTQ members of Oregon to bring in those different lived experiences. And the most recent, my current staff director is Jason Trombley, who's a Palawan. And right behind him was Kathy Way, who is working with Future Lab and on these census. Left me as my staff director, my director. I don't think she's on this call. I didn't see. She left me to join the census effort because of her incredible commitment to ensure that all voices matter, not only in the Capitol, but in every realm. And that is why I feel so committed and very thankful to Sandra for inviting me, because voices of communities that are marginalized, underrepresented, undercounted are so critical. And this is our opportunity.
Alisa, and taking the opportunity you brought
to make sure that we...
So Alisa, getting a link to what you just said, that is our main goal today, really is to have as much as possible las personas, the people that is hard for us to find, that they don't feel comfortable to signing, to fill out their forms. How can you just please give some words, the 2 main things that we need then to be there? For instance, why? How can we have more social services? Like just, a few weeks ago, we are just distributing some, gift cards that we got from the Multnomah County. That was wonderful, but how? Because they learned how many communities we have in the Multnomah County that needs support in this moment of pandemic, right? So can you just say a little bit about this, Alisa, how you see
that's right. And we, as someone is saying in the chat here, that it's really important that we count the Oregonian, because the more Oregonians that we have in 2020 in our census, the better a chance we have of picking up another congressional seat. That's incredibly important to back in Washington, D.C. And then, and in addition to getting a congressional seat and having more of a voice in federal policies, it also means all of those federal dollars that we get, much of which is based housing dollars, human service dollars, healthcare dollars, are based on our population, and it gets stuck there for the next 10 years. This is really incredibly important. And I also think it's important for state policy, because state lawmakers like myself and my colleagues look at relations and say, wow, actually there's a lot in that population, and we should really make sure that we're state dollars toward very specific efforts. And one example of that is just yesterday, the E-Board met, the emergency board of the legislature decided to allocate $62 million to the Black Resiliency Fund. And this is a fund that's going to go to families and small businesses to help with very specific impacts from coronavirus, because we know that many Black businesses were not able to get the PPP loans and grants from the federal government, because you need an existing relationship with a bank. Many of them were really small business people that didn't have existing relationships. And so once again, they got cut out.
Yeah.
So it's important for state policy and federal policy that everyone gets counted.
Yeah, and we cannot forget nuestras comunidades de México, Central América y Latin America, porque, América América del Sur, como diríamos en español, but anyways, so toda la gente indígena que además de los nativos americanos indígenas, tenemos hoy en Oregon, en todo el país, mucha gente indígena, many people, that are indigenous from all these countries in Latin America, and how much, they fear that they are not the person to be there, to be counted. They do not understand what is the census. That's when we joined this project last December. Was, yes, we have to get everyone, right? Verdad?
Yes, I put something in the chat for Perla, who said, I think 64% have been counted. And I'm curious about if there's any estimate about the groups that are not yet counted. That would be maybe really helpful to know for the door-to-door in October. So I don't know the answer to that. So once I just got off the police call at noon today, I'm on the Transparent Policing and Use of Force Reform Legislative Committee that just put together. I'm very honored to be one of 3 House Democrats on it, and the other 2 are African American, Akasha Lawrence Spence and Joe Bynum, and we're senators and Republicans as well. So there's a lot happening in that. It was an incredibly emotional testimony this morning with some stories of people that had lost family members. I mean, literally, I was crying. I had Zoom camera off so people didn't see, but it was really powerful. And I invite people to join that. And if they want to be on I'm going to put my email address here if you want on my email list. I send links out where people can send testimony if they want. The other really big thing happening is just today, they're putting out a draft of what the special session budget is going to look like, at least a draft of it, and people can comment. My concern is that we're making a lot of cuts in human services, and these are not the things that should be cuts. I get that we need to balance our budget. We can't grow like the federal government can do. We have to balance our budget. But I just feel like, we can't only focus on the police reforms. We also need to focus on all those social determinants of health that Sandra has worked on for so many years. We need to make sure that people have access to housing and human services and healthcare and business loans and all those things that make a vital community. And we cannot stop now. These whole George Floyd related protests have shown us all of and coronavirus has shown us even more glaringly than you already knew before, the disparities. And so there's an opportunity to comment on what's happening in the special session, which will probably happen in early August. And so I really hope that that you all get involved. And I want to thank you for your work in making sure everyone's counted so that all of these voices can be counted in our policy decisions.
Okay. Next up, we have our wonderful Petrona representing our Washington County partner, Adelante Mujeres. She's going to be interviewing some youth from our community. Thank you all for coming here and talking with us. And then stay tuned for a game of Census Jeopardy. Take it away, Petrona.
I think we should all be dancing. Para bailar la samba.
Okay.
Well, welcome, bienvenidos a cada uno de ustedes que están aquí. Welcome those of you who are here today. It is such an honor to just be able to work with the youth today and test their not only census IQ, but really listen to the youth who are pushing us to also fill out the census. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and invite these next panelists, all who are coming from ERCO and who participate in one of ERCO's amazing youth programs, Kushal Nepal, Brian Zahu, and Sevak Nepal. If you all can just go ahead and turn off your mics, and we're going to go ahead and get started. And thank you again for joining us today. First of all, welcome. If you don't mind just telling us a little bit about why, in a few words, why it's important for you to be counted in the 2020 census and be represented.
Well, mostly because it would give the state more funding because of how much because I don't remember exactly, but I'm pretty sure that the state gets funding depending on the census or something. So I guess that.
Yeah, of course. What do you think for you specifically? And feel free to also introduce yourself, Kashal. Sorry. You know, outside of just the funding piece, where do you see yourself in the next 10 years? You know, and how might this funding be super important to you and your, you know, as you continue in your journey of life?
I don't really know. Sorry.
Oh no, you're good. No worries. Okay, I'll go ahead and move on to the next question here. If we can get Brian here, and Brian, feel free to also introduce yourself. And the question for you after introducing yourself is, I wanted to ask, one, have maybe in your household, have you all filled out the census? And if so, or if not, what are some barriers or challenges that you see in completing the census based on whether your community, your family, or your demographics?
Oh, hi guys, I'm Brian, and I already filled out the census in April, and like my family usually asks me to do the census because they don't like understand the language since they like speak Chinese and don't really understand English. So that's like one barrier for my family when it comes to filling out the census.
Thank you, Brian. And here we have next Savak. The question for you, and also again, feel free to introduce yourself, and maybe what might be some of your perceptions around the 2020 census, as many community members found there to be an uneven knowledge and understanding of the census. Does that relate to you?
Hi, I'm Savak, and I don't really think the perception of the census affects us, because like we know about the census and like we know how to do it, and we've already filled it out. But there might be some other people that don't like know about the census.
Is this your first time filling out the census, or the second, or various times?
This is my first time.
First time. Well, congratulations. And then I'm going to go ahead and pass this next question to all of you, and we'll go by order as we started here. What are some potential motivators for reaching out to more community members? And feel free to also speak on behalf of the community that you are representing today. And also just kind of aiming towards filling out the census and being able to share this very crucial information. And just to let you know, we'll go in order. So we'll start with Kashal.
Can I actually go next? Because
yeah. So Brian, would you be able to answer that for us?
Could you repeat the question one more time, please?
Of course. What might be some of the potential motivators that you might be able to give us, especially those who are here from organizations, to be able to reach out to your community and also to encourage people to fill out the census?
Like maybe have an incentive or some kind of like a small raffle for those who like finished completing the census.
Okay. Savak?
I feel like you should have like a prize, or like Brian said, a raffle or a prize for like completing the census, like to motivate people to like do the census. And like maybe they don't even know how the census works, so probably inform them of why it is so important to fill the census.
Definitely, I agree with that. Kashal?
I think that maybe schools should teach more about the census, like maybe during high school or something, no matter if it's the year of the census or something, so they can know more about it, to know why it's important and stuff. And then and then a motivation would maybe be like giving them a little incentive, kind of like maybe a small money bonus or something. I don't know.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely agree with educating young folks sooner than later. So Thank you so much to all three of you for participating with us and giving some insight. And to close out, I'll go ahead and say this in Spanish since I do know Spanish. I'm just going to quickly say, hay que contarnos, let's get counted. And if you all wouldn't mind joining me in your respective community to just say that in the language that you would prefer. If you want to go ahead and say something, Kashal.
I'm supposed to say, let's get counted.
Yeah.
Wait, in my language?
Yes.
हमें count करना थालो.
Yeah. And Brian?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that one more time?
Oh, if you just want to go ahead and just say, let's get counted.
Oh, let's get counted?
Yes, in the community you are representing today.
Chinese community?
Of course, go ahead. Oh, I don't think we caught you there, Brian.
Am I supposed to say in Chinese or something?
Yeah.
I'm not really sure how to say it.
Oh, no worries. Savak, did you want to go ahead and say in your respective language?
My language is the same as Kushal's, so it's Hamikan Gonu Tale.
Awesome, yay! Well, thank you so much, and let's give a virtual hand round of applause for all of our youth that were able to join us here for the panel. So thank you. Basir, if you want to just go ahead and pick which of our three categories you want to pick today, Census Easy, Census Medium, or Census Hard.
Can I just continue without him?
Yes, that's fine. I'll play for Yasir here. I think we're having some technical difficulties. Do you want to go ahead and pick Census Easy, Census Medium, or Census Hard?
Can I go for Census Easy 700?
Yes. All right. For Census Easy 700, does the census determine federal funding for each state?
Yes.
Dun, 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 dun. Yes. Each person, congratulations, each person counted in the census yields approximately 4,600 in federal funding each year for 10 years. That is why we need to get counted, folks. Do you want to go ahead and pick another one here?
I can go for medium 200.
Medium 200.
Okay, 200.
When is the final date to fill out your census?
October, I want to say October 1st.
Is this your final answer?
No, that's wrong. What date is it, Patrona?
October 31st.
I had the right month.
Yes, you had the right
Yeah,
month.
almost. You still have 700 points.
Let's test one of our organizations here if they know their census. Rebecca, do you want to go ahead and pick another category?
Let's see. I would do Census Hard for 300.
Census Hard for 300. Name 3 federal programs that receive funding by the census count.
We got SNAP. We got roads, schools, libraries. And we have roads, schools, libraries. I know this. Come on. It's just me being nervous. I believe unemployment and yeah. Is that right?
Let's check it out. So we have Medicaid, Head Start, roads, schools, hospitals, school lunch programs, unemployment, Section 8 vouchers, programs for seniors, and programs for veterans. But yes, SNAP is definitely below this, so congratulations.
Yay. That's how many points? 300, I said? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And I think Yasir finally joined in here. There was technical difficulties. Yasir, are you on? Oh, not yet. All right, let's go ahead and go back to Balkis. If you want to pick another one.
I'm gonna stick with Easy 600.
Easy 600. Do newborns and children under 5 get counted in the census?
Is it 5 and up?
Is this your final answer? Yes. And the answer is yes. All children under 5 are part of the Hard to Count community and should be getting counted in the census. All right, let's test another one of our organizations out here. Timur, let's see where your Census 101 is at. Please pick one of the 3 categories.
Let's try Census Medium for 300.
Census Medium for 300. How many languages in the census are available by phone, outside of just English?
Quite a few.
Do you know the number?
I would say 12 or 13, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, and the answer is 13. Congratulations. Yes, these are all the languages that are available by phone. All right, we'll do one last final question here, and Baskir, feel free to go ahead and pick which one of the categories you want to pick. Oh, Balkis.
Sorry, Easy 500.
Easy 500. How many questions are on the census 2024?
No, I was joking, but I don't use it as much because I'm not familiar with people.
I want to estimate, but I can't. It's a whole number?
This way.
Yeah.
10?
Yes, 10 questions, approximately 10 minutes. Congratulations. Well, we will conclude our Census Jeopardy game here. Thank you all so much for chiming into the Census Jeopardy. Remember to visit the www.2020census.gov to get counted or call the toll-free number.
Awesome, thank you. That was 1,800 points. That's amazing. Thank you, Bakir. And thank you, Patrona. And now, we're coming soon to the end. We only have about 5 more minutes. There's only one more chance in order to win raffle prizes. Please stay on the call and pay attention to the chat. In the meantime, I'll just like to say thank you to all the partners that make this possible. Thank you to Travel Portland, Pedalpalooza, Albina Early Head Start, United Methodist Church in Hillsborough and Gresham, City of Fairview, City of Forest Grove, South Enhancement Inc., for helping us make buzz about this event. Thank you, We Count Oregon campaign for educating us, United Way Oregon for funding us, Daniela and our production team and Open Signal for simulcasting us, our amazing ASL interpreters from Fingers Crossing, thank you for making this accessible to our deaf and hard hearing community. Remember to take the census today or at least before August 11th to avoid any unwanted solicitation. Contact any of our Portland Metro Census Assistance Centers for support, Rosewood Initiative, Hacienda CDC, Black Parent Initiative, Adelante Mujeres, IRCO, Centro Cultural, Division Midway Alliance, Dulas Latinas, Islamic Family Center, and yours truly from Open Signal. And we'll have about 4 minutes left for you to win raffle prizes. And in the meantime, we'll just listen to some music. Thank you again for having us. You can go and check out Open Signal's raffle. We're creating a collaborative video project where if you already took the census, we want to hear from you. We want to hear why the census is important for you. We hope that by seeing your face, by representing your community, it's another way that we can make sure that everybody in Oregon gets counted. We want to create a video that's the most inclusive as possible. So languages other than English are absolutely welcome. just please send me, Rebecca, my email is rgonzalez at opensignalpdx.org. Please send me just a transcript of what your video is about. But we want to participate. We want you to participate. We want to give you a platform. Thank you for being here today. If you have any questions, you can check out our Facebook page or Instagram page, and all the information is there. Thank you again for our partners for joining in. Thank you, everybody. Have a good rest of your day.